Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Butterbar here. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about Mass Effect. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be doing reviews over the Mass Effect game. So the thing that I wanted to do is actually just jump into some multiplayer. I know a lot of people are going on doing the campaign, doing the single player, but I wanted to see what was all about with this multiplayer. And I have to say, I'm actually really enjoying it. And I'll actually tell you guys what loadout I'm using and what weapon I'm using and what I'm kind of finding, the best thing that helps me out with being able to complete objectives, complete these missions, in order to level up and do the harder missions that are later to come. So, Loadout. So for me, and you guys know that you guys have been watching all my videos, basically playing Titanfall, and the loadout that I'm actually using, the character I'm using, the weapon I'm using, is based around my game, the way that I play Titanfall, and that aspect of being able to defeat the enemies as fast as possible, but bring a lot of firepower to the fight. So basically the human character that I'm using is the male soldier. So the soldier comes with 3 abilities. The concussion shot that is going to knock down anybody that doesn't have a shield. It's going to go ahead and knock them out and disorient them, giving you the ability to actually finish them off and actually kill them while they're not actually shooting back at you. Next is the frag grenade. Frag grenade actually does a lot of area damage that helps out a lot when you have either a giant enemy, like you'll see later on, that actually comes out and does a lot of damage to that, or if you have a lot of enemies, ganging up on you and getting close to you, you can throw it out there, take out 2 or 3 guys, and it's the best thing for like a contingency if you're actually being overwhelmed. And the next ability is the turbo shot. So this is a thing that's really cool. It actually amps up how fast your firing rate is on your weapon. And it does an amazing amount of damage, being able to take out people very quickly. And the recharge weight is actually not that bad. I've actually been able to use it several times within just one single match. And it helps out a lot. So right now I'm using it, being able to take out somebody with a shield, or even armor in that case, and being able to take them out very fast. And it definitely helps me out so much, playing that aggressive play style of Titanfall. And actually, this game is actually teaching me that I need to kind of tone that back a little bit and get behind cover, because the mechanics that they have in this game with being able to use cover actually matters a lot in the game. So, weapon. Well, the weapon I'm using is actually the Revenant. The Revenant is a kind of an assault rifle that has been pretty much in the Mass Effect games ever since the first game. It was kind of like a rare assault rifle. If you were a soldier in Mass Effect 1, or you actually did a couple playthroughs of Mass Effect 2, you were actually able to use this gun, and this is actually one of the guns that I fell in love with very quickly. Just because, 1, it looks just so intimidating, and 2, the firing rate and the damage that it actually does is very cool. And the sound of it just blaring off as you're shooting. It might not be the most accurate thing in the world from long distances, but getting up close and personal, it definitely reminds me of kind of like the Spitfire in Titanfall 2. And you're going to see me use kind of comparisons of that between this game and Titanfall 2, just because that is the game that I've been playing a lot of, and it's the best way to compare the 2 games. And how much I've been enjoyed playing the games, and the way that I actually play the games.
We've got major enemy targets nearby. Let's take them out.
So let's get into difficulties and different objectives that are actually played into the multiplayer game. So there's 3 difficulties that are actually in the game right now. And it doesn't actually too far away from the way that Mass Effect 3 had them set up. So there's bronze, silver, and gold difficulty. So basically, based off of the equipment that you have, the level that your character is, basically lets you know how difficult the fight is going to be. I've actually been in a gold match, and I just got my tail kicked. It was pretty bad. So I've been pretty much just sticking to bronze, just because, 1, I'm trying to get used to the game. I'm trying to level up. I'm trying to get that better geared character. So when I go into silver and I go into gold, it will help me out a lot, being able to be well geared, and make these encounters a lot more doable than jumping in there and just getting my tail kicked. So with it coming into multiplayer, there's different objectives actually within the multiplayer game. So when you play a bronze game type, there's different objectives based off of the survival. So you're going to play several game types of survival. So there's, round 1 and round 2 are going to be survival matches where you're basically just taking out as many targets as you possibly can within the game. But then when round 3 and round 6 comes up, you're going to be coming up with different objectives in the game. So right now, the gameplay that you just saw was an assassination mission. So there's 4 targets that you have to kill within that time frame. There's different objectives. There's hack, which you have to hold on to different objectives within the game, within the map, and you have to hold those points down within an amount of time and capture those points by the end of the round. It makes it really difficult because sometimes they put these things out in the middle of nowhere, and you're pretty much just trying to find out what is the best cover, what's the best way of being able to defeat some of these enemies, because some of them are actually pretty aggressive, and then some actually, I think there's some enemies that actually use, different abilities to actually punch through cover. And that's kind of the one thing that sucks because you think you're in a safe position to be able to defeat the enemy, and you're not whatsoever. There's been several times when I'm trying to get used to the different enemies that are actually in the game, and I've been sitting behind cover thinking I'm safe, and then all of a sudden I either get damaged while I'm behind cover, or I get knocked out of cover because of the enemy's different abilities. So, and one thing that you also need to watch out too, depending on what map you actually play on, some of these maps feel pretty claustrophobic. Even if it's kind of like this map doesn't feel as bad as some of the others, but some of the maps that are, that seem, pretty big and pretty, vast, and just because it's an outdoor map, doesn't mean that it doesn't feel claustrophobic. And that's the one thing that I've kind of noticed where I'll be holding up a position on the map and I will just get overwhelmed thinking that one area of the map is clear and the other map is not, and I'll get overwhelmed because both areas aren't the greatest places to be. So now, based off my just couple hours of experience into this multiplayer game mode, there's a couple of things I would like to see, changed a little bit. Just minor tweaks that I think would make the gameplay a lot better and a lot more smooth for players that are actually just starting to either begin this series of Mass Effect or just jumping into multiplayer of Mass Effect for the very first time. So the very first thing I would want to talk about, and I think it's the one thing that I think most players will see pretty often as soon as they get into a match, is the connection. So from what I'm assuming and what I'm seeing so far is that it's a peer connection. So you're connecting off a host of the game, and that is kind of the connection that you have. There's no servers, there's no nothing to where everybody's connected to one area and everybody's kind of equal for the most part. It's not the case, because depending on how great that person's connection is, you might be lagging around. You might be, running one place and then actually cut you back just because the connection is not that good. And I've ran into a couple situations like that where I'll be running, or I'll think I'll have an enemy in front of me, and I'll either teleport or the enemy will teleport, and I got to figure out, where I'm going to be at next. Or even though I've gotten freeze frames where I've been, trying to shoot, and then all of a sudden the frame will freeze, and then either it'll look for a new host or it'll kick back into where we can actually play again. The next thing, and I think the one thing that I wish that they would update more, is the map. So the map that you have right now is just in the top of the screen. It basically just shows you north, south, east, and west of the map, and then it also will show you red dots of where the enemy is at. To me, I'm just not used to this. Maybe I'm too used to the Titanfall map of seeing a round map and a location in my little area of my viewing, and I just have not gotten used to this thing. I feel like it's more of a distraction than anything else, because I will try to look for the enemy, but for some reason I just can't get a rundown of where they're at. So I wish they would change the map so you could actually see the enemy and you wouldn't have a difficult time being able to find out where the enemy is at. And I just feel like it's very confusing. I mean, for somebody that has played a lot of Mass Effect games, for somebody that has experience from playing Mass Effect 3's multiplayer, and then also coming from other games that have, a regular style map, I just wish there'd be one thing that would change, and hopefully change it for the best, because I really hope I'm not the only one that doesn't really like this whole just a very vague map of where the enemy's at. Well, guys, I have to say, even with the two things that I wish would be fixed, there's definitely a lot of fun in this multiplayer game. So if you are still playing the single player and you're trying to finish that fast, or you've already finished the single player, definitely jump into multiplayer. It's definitely one thing that I've really enjoyed, and you know, that's the one thing about it. You know, people might complain about the graphics or the animation, stuff like that, but I think the gameplay in itself, the combat is very improved from the other games. It's definitely an improvement from Mass Effect 3 and Mass Effect 2. And I think a lot of people will get enjoyment from playing this stuff. So I hope, you know, my loadout helps for you guys. I hope, you know, for everybody that watches Titanfall 2 videos that I post, I hope, you know, the soldier loadout and the weapon that I recommend for you guys helps you guys out a lot, because it definitely helps me out a lot when I play this game. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it very entertaining and helpful for you guys. And I want to hear what you guys think. What do you think that, you know, what is your favorite class? What is your favorite weapon? What do you guys like to use in this game? Is there a favorite map that you guys like? What difficulty do you guys like to play in the game? Do you guys stay on bronze kind of like I am and try to build up that experience and build up that your stats to actually go, you know, into the more difficult game modes? Are you guys liking the objectives that they're actually posting in here, and, you know, being able to complete them, you know, easy, or do you think they're as hard as can be and you can't get past them? And let me know down below if you guys think that the two things that, you know, I want to improve in this game are the same things that you guys want to see improved, or maybe that's different from what you guys want to see improved, and maybe there's something else. So let me know down in the comments below. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so you guys never miss another video. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I will see you next time.